Trippy voices. Yeah, we're starting it off right here. 1 minute to 8 o'clock on Sunday night. This is the 24th Westcoast Highlife. Shit, this is the summer edition. We've been away for quite some time. And, we're all sitting down around the table back here live and streaming on cable. Yeah. For all y'all listeners out there, we want to say what's up. My name is Darcy Eclectic here on the microphone. I got my man to my right here.
My name's Mark Hovey. That's all you need to know.
Hovatron.
Bitches.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Who's to my right?
And yeah, what's up over there?
It's the AK.
AK spraying every
A to
day.
the K. Every day.
We need a machine gun
yeah, we're
cut
gonna
in there.
insert the machine gun sample, the rapid fire. We'll have a little bit of like Christian Bale in there, doing some Batman.
Yeah.
And away we go.
Some angry Batman. I'm Batman.
It's the machine gun this podcast needs, not what it deserves.
Harvey Dent, can he be trusted with an AK-47?
Can't wait for that voice to be done. I guess it is done. It's not coming back. It's not going to be. He's not going to be Batman anymore.
People are going to be bad Batmans for the rest.
What do you mean? There's no more
time.
Batman? What?
No, that Christian Bale's not doing Batman again.
Oh yeah, no, that series is done.
Who'd they get for the next one?
They haven't cast it yet, but it's going to be part of Superman.
Michael Keaton's coming back?
Are they already talking about doing another Batman?
Apparently.
Okay, Man of Steel 2 is with Batman.
Who?
Man of Steel 2 is with Batman.
Yeah, apparently. That's going to be kind of crazy.
That's the Superman thing.
It's the big crossover.
Superman.
Yeah,
you guys
it's
see those
huge.
cafes, Superman and
DC
Batman?
Comics is Batman too, yeah?
It'll be the biggest
It must be,
grossing
because
movie
there's no
ever.
way they do like a Marvel and
Superman
DC.
Yeah,
and Batman? That'll
DC, they're the
probably
same
fail.
universe,
You kidding
Justice
me?
League. I'm realizing I'm talking about this with people who are not comic book nerds like myself.
Yeah, but the thing is, like that's like the biggest pairing, the worst pairing of superheroes ever. Like Superman
What do
does
you mean?
everything.
Batman
Batman just
No.
like sits
See,
on his thumb.
Batman's
and
all
he's
about the gadgets, right?
That is how little you know about Batman.
I'm gonna detective my way into there,
No,
and then you
see?
can fly around the world.
Okay,
and
no.
stop
Let's just go to this
No.
scenario,
Oh,
okay?
God.
So one of the first scenes in Man of Steel is when he's on the fishing boat and there's a fucking big oil rig that's about to explode. And
It's already out?
spoiler alert.
This
Here we
movie's
go.
already out?
Oh yeah, I've already.
You didn't see
Batman?
Man of Steel?
No, not the
No.
not the Batman ad, just the Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder.
Okay, just Superman.
the new
yeah,
Superman
okay,
Zack
good.
Snyder.
Yeah, you don't need Batman for that shit.
Yeah, okay, but picture this scenario, okay?
Okay.
So there's this huge oil rig that's about to fall over, and there's these miners or whatever that are getting extracted by a helicopter.
Right.
And Superman rolls up, and he's like holding the fucking bracing this huge rig from falling over for like
one of the
15
pillars or
seconds.
something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a massive
okay.
pillar.
Yeah.
You get Batman in there. What the fuck's he gonna do? Shoot
Nothing.
that with his little fucking grappling gun and like try and tie it onto something else? Well, that'll snap people.
Yeah, his like bat.
I'm just
wing.
saying.
He's got
Batman
nothing.
wouldn't have let that oil rig go down in the first place.
He could look it up on his GPS.
And
He
he'd
could be,
probably
yeah,
have...
man, you got to go like
yeah.
4 miles north, Superman.
And he
so
probably-
yeah, you're almost there.
So wait, you're saying Batman's like the safety patrol? He's like,
Totally.
make sure you follow all the regulations, and then
he's
I
the
won't need to come save you.
He's the gear guy in the back.
I do
He's the
not
guy
want
who,
to
like,
have to defend
he's gonna
Batman
hack
because
into
you
the
guys do
computer
not know him. Who
I'm not hating on Batman.
No, but the
I'm just
character-
saying,
I am.
The character...
comparatively,
Shitty ass
One
superhero.
has superpowers and one doesn't, but one is the ultimate expression of what a human being can accomplish if he has enough
If his
time
parents are killed.
and money and
got lots of loot.
training, right?
Yeah, okay.
Shit,
So-
money. Talk about money. He's a millionaire. Right?
He's a billionaire, but he took out he can disable
He's a
Superman.
philanthropist.
He has disabled Superman in the past. Batman is the
How?
one guy because he has kryptonite ready to go just for that occasion.
Good old kryptonite. I forgot about that.
yeah, the one Bane.
And he's an awesome detective, so he finds out who Superman is right away. He knows it's going to be Clark Kent, whereas Superman, he can use his X-ray vision, look right through the mask, right, and be like, oh, you're
So they
Bruce
both
Wayne.
know each
They
other.
both know each other,
Oh,
and
snap.
They're probably like Eskimo
Blackmail.
bros.
they're
Except
kind
Superman's load
I
killed the
bet
chick
you-
after, so
They both had Lois Lane.
I'm sure they did, man.
probably.
Double time.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of crossovers. There's like World's Finest. There's the
Do
one.
you think they'd wear the masks? They probably wore masks. Oh, Superman doesn't really have a mask, does he?
No,
He puts on the mask.
He just gels his hair back.
We would like our
Kill-
West Coast
little bit of
Highlife
Kill Bill
listeners
there for
to
you.
throw in a little on our page. We want you guys to write why Superman or Batman is better, and we're gonna do a tally, and we're gonna see because
Who
It
would
should be
win
why
in a
Superman is
fight?
better and why Batman is worse.
there you go. Well,
Boo. That's
To try and
rigged.
get both sides of the coin.
yeah, exactly. Devil's advocate. Mark Hovey, devil's advocate, always, especially with DC Comics.
Heads I win, tails you lose.
Marvel
No.
versus Capcom. Why didn't they do a Marvel versus DC? That never happened in a video game.
Not,
Yeah,
not
didn't
in a
it?
video game.
No?
No, they never did.
But they have a
I don't know the
DC
difference
versus
between them all.
DC, so you can actually fight Batman against Superman in a video game setting.
Oh.
Right now, they have it's called Injustice.
Finish him.
Well, we'll have to do like a trial. We'll have to do a video game.
It looks
trial
fun. It
and
looks
s-
fun.
And see who wins.
Yeah. Well, the
I
better
never
gamer.
liked those
The Gosu will probably
The
take that one.
Gosu gamer wins every
Fucking A.
time.
Yeah, I haven't really been playing a lot of video games. I'm pretty busy
It's
this summer so
summertime,
far,
dude. It's so
and,
it's hard to want to be inside
Yeah.
playing video games.
yeah, we're coming up on the end of July here,
And it hasn't rained at all for like
No,
a
it's
month.
been a
yeah,
drought
we
here
are in
in
the middle. This is a
Victoria.
heat wave podcast right
Yep.
here. Thankfully, we're in a
Beautiful.
big cool space, so it's not too bad tonight.
I'm
But
thirsty just talking about it.
I need a drink. I need a Glengarry, a Glenfiddich, any Glen. Do you have any Glen? Do you have any ice?
I don't.
That would be ideal. Insert ice sample here. The clinking, that's the
Yeah.
ideal ice sample.
It
But
is.
no, the reason I've been so busy, and I'm hopefully a lot of you guys have actually come out to check out some of the stuff that's been going on. The Victoria Ska Fest happened July 9th to 13th this summer, and it was fantastic. We had it headlined by Mos Def, a.k.a. Yassine Bey,
Yeah.
and he came
It's
in.
funny that his name was twice on the poster, right? Like
Yassine, a.k.a. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
then
that's the
as
thing,
Mos
right?
Def,
If,
like-
Quad
if you just say
post.
Yassine Bey, a lot of people are like, huh? Who's that?
well,
Yeah,
I don't know
not
why
a lot
he
of
puts
people
that in there. Like, why bother? Why not just be
It's-
Mos Def?
Oh,
No.
because that's his prerogative. as
Maybe
a
he got out of a
superstar.
bad record label. Like
As a
that's what Prince did, right? Prince got out of a record label by
No, I
becoming
think
the
it's
symbol
because
for a little
he
while.
converted to Islam and he wanted to,
That- yeah.
have his name as Yassine Bey.
Uh,
But yeah, he
is
he
that his
headlined.
original name, or did he change his name?
His name is Dante. His
Huh.
real name is Dante.
Did you guys see his video with being force fed in Guantanamo?
Yeah, the Guantanamo thing. I
Did
haven't
he-
watched it. No, I haven't actually
You
watched
should
it.
watch that.
We'll have to put a link up on that.
I gotta say, he totally he kind of acted in it. Like he's kind of being an actor. He like cries at
he
the
is
end,
an actor, man.
and you're kind of like, dude, man up, because
He's a rapper / actor.
But there's videos of little girls getting force fed or like
Yeah.
feeding themselves through the tube, and they're like 10 years old. They're not crying.
they're
or
not.
anything.
Yeah.
I guess maybe
Yeah.
it's
They were
different.
trying to make it seem dramatic.
Yeah,
and
they
extreme,
over
right?
dra-
He probably
dramatized
wasn't
it.
actually being
It's
force fed.
still fucking terrible to have people living in Guantanamo Bay like with no rights, haven't been charged with anything for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like that's bad enough as it is. But
Ovi, you're the resident historian. Can you give us a little background on the Bay of Pigs and the Guantanamo Bay scenario?
I don't
Are
think the
they-
Bay
I
of
don't think
Pigs is
they're
related.
related.
Bay of Pigs has something to do with
That was Kennedy.
Vietnam.
That was the
or
whole
something
Russian
like that.
Cuban Missile Crisis thing, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
they just slaughtered people or something,
Yeah.
right?
So Guantanamo
Well,
is just,
Guantanamo was in Cuba, though, right?
Yeah.
Or like an island off of Cuba or something like that.
but it's U.S. prisoners.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
like an island the U.S. controls outside.
Well,
of
they're
Cuba.
they're in no man's land. Like they've been they've been picked
they
up.
don't like anyone knowing about it.
People are from Yemen. People are from like all over the world, right? And
Yeah.
they're suspected of terrorism.
Shit.
Suspected.
Or
Never
threat-
been
threat
charged
to
in a
the
court of law, but
Homeland
they're
Security.
just being
Well,
held
you
there.
know what I mean. I think Mos Def is very much about causality, and he wants to find not so much causality, but as finding a cause. Like he's all about having a cause and having his name behind something.
Yeah.
And a lot of his show was not necessarily what I expected, but it was still something that I was like, okay, I respect this. And the Vancouver show, actually, the one we did on the Sunday, was a little different. We had a little bit more time, so we had 110 minutes to perform
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to 70. And a lot of extra stuff sort of came out in that, where he would just sort of prophesize to the crowd for a bit. Like
Oh,
he'd
cool.
just start, going on these rhetorics about different things. And I was like, oh, are people going to dig this? Or are they going to be like, what's going on here? Did I pay to see this? And
Was it like godly stuff? Like, I mean, not godly.
no,
like
it's more just
religious?
about like social culture and like trying to embrace everyone and
Yeah.
stuff like this. And I was like, okay, all right, I respect that. But there's some humorous parts in that show though, where he just does like the whirling dervish.
Yeah.
He just like spins around on
Spins, yeah.
stage and whirling dervishes, and I'm kind of like,
He did that
okay.
at the end of the Victoria
Yeah,
show.
he did.
Yeah.
That's like his final
I
thing.
think yeah, it's his like coup de grace.
Encore.
his-
Because he's wearing that like I guess it's typical Muslim garb or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But
it's
it's
like,
basically a long dress.
Pretty much, yeah. I can't remember the name of those right
Tunic
now.
or
I want to
something.
call it a kurta pajama, but it's not quite that.
I don't know what it is.
It's like the Islamic version of a kurta pajama.
Pajama.
Kurta pajamas are fantastic, actually.
What's that?
Kurta pajamas like traditional Indian wear, where it's like
Is that the
white
white-
pants
the
with
white
like
top?
the full length top
Yeah,
that
yeah.
goes down
I've
to below
seen it.
your knees.
I didn't know what it's called.
And they're super comfy, and you can wear them in cool or warm climates. Like they're hot when it's cool and cool when it's hot. It's
It's like
pretty
like
phenomenal.
the Star Trek clothing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like Star Trek
Is
issued
it supposed
apparel.
to be thermal
It's
stuff like
yeah,
that?
well, it's
I
gotta
didn't-
be
never
right
really
because
thought
they
about
never
it.
wear coats.
Yeah, no
and
matter
they go to
what
like
planet they're
icy
on, yeah, that's
planets or
true.
hot
No, they do
planets.
wear coats. In the older show, they do.
Did
I don't know
they?
about the new one. Yeah, in the older one, they definitely had like kind of bomber jackets and shit.
Oh yeah, they had
They did.
various apparel.
Yeah, they'd have thicker jackets that they'd put on. If
They
it was
had
cold.
like a team sales store they'd go and grab all this shit from.
Parkas?
Every day.
Yeah, they'd have
Starfleet
parkas and things like
parkas?
that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I just want to swing back towards the festival again for a second. So again, just a couple of highlights. I'd have to say that the Catch-A-Fire show at Sugar was amazing. Those guys are phenomenal. They still have probably one of the best reggae sounds in the world right now. And they packed that place out. I was really pleased to see that show do really well, and was kind of bummed I didn't get to see Blitz the Ambassador this year. He ended up playing on the clubs, and I didn't get to see him at Ship's Point, but he always puts on a fantastic show too. So just want to say big ups to everyone who was there and who was involved, and we'll see you guys again next year. So cheers for the Ska Festival 2013. And now back to our regular scheduled programming. So yeah, I'm curious to know, like, first of all, I know the summer is sort of midway through here, and we all got some plans for things coming up. And Mark, are you doing your island hop again this year? Is that in the works? Or?
I was going to, but not really.
No, it's not.
Cam bailed on the Gabriola thing.
Oh,
Bastard. Fucker.
damn.
So I'm going to Texada.
Okay.
One island. Not bad.
Well, that's all right.
Not too shabby.
Well, that'll still be fun.
I'd like to do Pender too, but I don't know.
Yeah, actually, Everybody Left. My friend Martin plays in a band called Everybody Left, and they're a local ska reggae sort of indie band as well. Maybe they're not indie so much, but they played a show on Pender this weekend, and the guy who owns the pub on Pender there, he basically,
yeah.
I can't remember the name of it right now.
I don't remember either.
But
I've been drinking.
it's right down by the harbor.
Yeah.
He hired them to come and play a big show out there, so a lot of people went out and set up their camps, and they had, Jenny's or whatever, and were running the whole show.
Oh, they did it outside?
Yeah, fully outdoor show. It looked like a lot of fun, and that'd be something that I would definitely get down with. So, big ups to Everybody Left for playing a Pender show this weekend, and anyone else who's golf island hopping this summer has got a lot of fun things in store. Because I mean, shit, you can't get worse than we got right now. It's been traditionally 25, 28 degrees every day,
Yeah.
and it doesn't show any sign of letting up. So I'm knocking on some wood right now in front of y'all.
It's not
But,
an average West Coast summer.
I'm going to try and get to Hornby Island.
Yeah,
before the end of
nice
summer.
there. It's
Yeah, we
beautiful.
should do a Westcoast Highlife hits Hornby at the end of August, maybe the early September months.
Yeah, it might be September for me, but
Yeah, Labor Day long weekend.
yeah,
That's the time.
that would be the time.
Fucking A.
That's like the busiest weekend. You want to go there, you're going to book
Well, yeah,
ahead.
I have
Make sure you book ahead, man.
I know somebody with a cabin there, so I have to
Oh,
give them a
yeah.
call. I have to give them a call, see what their
Definitely, because
schedule
That is like
Just need property.
If
somewhere
I-
to pitch a tent up.
that is the
Yeah,
busiest weekend
exactly.
like all over.
Yeah, if I have to wait for a less busy weekend, well, it doesn't matter to me. Just
Yeah,
need
fair enough. Eh?
get away.
But yeah, on that island it gets fucking busy.
Yeah, it does. Hornby always
Hornby
just
is
get
a
packed.
popular island.
I remember when I was on Hornby, my family used to come up to the West Coast from Alberta, and we'd make our trips up to Hornby with stops on, Victoria and Nanaimo on the way up.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to Hornby, you're just kind of like, wow, this is super hippie. And this is like 10 years ago, 15 years ago even on Hornby. It was like super hippie vibe. Like I know it's probably still got a little bit of that.
Main Islands like that.
But
I don't know if you
dude,
guys been
I remember I was at the co-op, and as we were just like coming out of the co-op, I hear all this drumming in the background, and it's just like the djembes, and everyone's getting their hippie jam fest, and there's this like huge line of nudists going in front of the co-op all the way to Little Tribune, the nude beach,
Right.
and here I'm just like 7 or 8 years old. I'm like, what's going on
Hippie
here?
time.
I
Like,
don't think they have any clothes.
yeah, I'm like, Mom, what's going on here? Oh, they're just hippies, Darcy. I was like,
That's
oh.
what hippies do.
Yeah, that's just expected
Hippies
of
get
hippies, I
naked and they
suppose.
drum.
Fuck.
I don't know. What are the new age hippies now? Do we have any? There's like is it
Main,
like
Main Island is full of
hipsters.
the new
Is a
age
hipster
hippies.
a new
no,
age
no,
hippie?
no, because hipsters have to care about something, and they're not good at that.
Don't hippies care about
I'm
something?
sure they have those
Hippies-
tenets of
hippies
hip
Oh,
hipster.
care.
I see what you're saying.
Hipsters
Hipsters don't
don't.
care, right?
Yeah, maybe that's the whole thing.
apathy.
Yeah, it's the I don't care kind of factor.
Hipsters
right?
care about MacBooks, Instagram, and cameras,
Social messaging.
Social media.
and smelly looking clothes. That's the only overlap
and
of
smelly
hippies.
looking
Smelly clothing.
old clothes.
Hippies and hipsters, except it's like a
Oh,
nouveau smelly look.
I don't know. It's like the paid for smelly though. It's like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
paid $100 for this smelly ratty shirt. And
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Try and find
Yeah.
this smell.
Yeah,
You
you
will
ain't,
never-
get, you ain't
will
getting
match
this musk
me.
anywhere else. I
Yeah.
tell you. That's,
Whereas, like, they're like counterculture, but actually just the culture. But hippies were actually counterculture, I think, back then. But it's hard to know. We weren't around in the 60s.
but I mean,
Like-
don't those emerge out of like festivals and stuff like a
There was-
Woodstock and all that? And I'm saying, is there like there's got to be like a hipster fest?
Well, okay,
now,
but
right?
there was a social cause behind hippies, right? It's like free love and psychedelics were coming out, and it was like a lot of social change, right? Because after the 50s were dry as fuck, It's
Yeah.
like Leave It to Beaver and stuff like that, right? So
Well,
now
it was also protesting the war, like
yeah,
Vietnam
all
War
that,
and all that.
all
Right?
that. When have you ever seen hipsters protest anything?
I maybe. No, I haven't seen hipster protest.
Could you say
They
Occupy?
don't.
Could you say
Occupy Wall Street.
would you say Occupy had
Was it-
hipsters? Maybe.
Maybe there was.
That's
No,
like
a few.
everyone.
But
yeah.
it was just
It's
it
just
was
a
everybody.
general sort of everyone.
Everybody's
pissed off.
fed up with the fucking.
Yeah.
There's
banks
just
and
these
shit.
huge enclaves of hipsters now, and we need to find a way to eradicate.
Eradicate the hipsters.
They're self eradicating.
Or maybe they
Unplug
just maybe
Coachella.
hipsters just need to evolve. Yeah, Coachella, is that what you would consider? See, there you go.
Coachella.
Is Coachella what
Bonnaroo.
That's their
Woodstock was
mecca.
for the hippie
That's
generation?
That's their mecca.
Sasquatch.
Yeah,
For the hipsters now?
definitely.
Yeah, those Coachella is probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah,
also one of
I
the
agree.
largest festivals in North America, I think, isn't it? Behind Burning Man,
One
it's
of
probably number 2.
One of it's something 30 or it's like 60 something.
Yeah, 60,000. Burning Man's
Yeah.
like 100, and I'm pretty sure that's like
Yeah.
60. So
Burning Man's pretty hippie.
yeah.
Burning Man seems like something different altogether.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think Burning
got
Man
everyone.
would still have a lot of the original roots of what that festival was put together for. Whereas
Whatever
I find,
the fuck that is.
I think it's just,
Burning shit.
no, it's a collection
It's like
of
an
creativity and art and
Yeah.
and culture and peoples and just like music and all these different things. Yeah, maybe maybe some wanking too.
Yeah.
But
Just
however,
wanked all over that microphone.
no, I'd have to say like even with
I still wanna
Shambhala,
go.
man, like Shambhala was
I wanna go
originally
and
it was a hippie
experience the
fest,
wank.
really, and it's completely changed its
Shambhala,
dynamic.
yeah.
It's more of a commercialized,
It
popular
seems- I
kind
would
of
go
event.
closer to like a rave, because it's electronic.
Yeah,
All electronic music is raves.
I think that
fucking
the whole
ravers.
rave notion has been
Rave.
thrown out the window by.
Yeah.
And I was reading an article actually in the Globe a week ago, and it was about this company in the States who are being bought up by Live Nation, and they started by doing events that were quote unquote raves, and now they've changed it. They're just like a multi-billion-dollar business.
It's such a 90s term.
Yeah, the whole rave scene.
No
right?
one, the raves are over.
And that's what they were saying. They're like, we don't call
Like-
it raves anymore. It's just like a over-glorified
Yeah.
like club show. It's just the same attitude and atmosphere, just
Yeah.
with more people. And the
Yeah.
music has changed too. It's definitely
It's highly
it's
produced.
highly produced, more commercialized. But at the same sense, I think it's good to see the fact that that electronic music has evolved from what it has been in its roots.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there are a lot of
I don't know. They're
subgenres
still
that
pretty
exist in
similar,
there.
though.
Everything takes its course, right?
There's going to
and
be lots of
evolves.
glow sticks.
There's always going to be the
There's
same
going to be
BPM for a
lots
certain
of
kind
crazy
music, right?
characters. There's
think
going to be lots of synthetic drugs
Yeah.
and amphetamines.
Yeah.
And there's going to be lots of electronic music.
Yeah, and glow sticks.
Still
Did
be
you say
a
that?
rave
Oh,
to me.
glow will
Glow
never
sticks?
die, man. Actually,
Glow
glow
sticks will
but-
never die.
But glow
Might
has
get
evolved.
glowier.
The LED glow stuff now is huge. Like,
Yeah.
that's like prolonged raver. That'll
Oh,
last
yeah.
you for like
You don't have
4
to put
days.
those in the freezer.
That's right. Can you refreeze glow sticks? And they're all
Yeah,
good?
yeah. If
Do
you,
they work
if
like
you're
that?
Quick, if you're quick
It
with
slows
yeah,
down
you
the
can throw it in
chemical
the freezer.
reaction or something.
Apparently, but who has a freezer camping?
And now you know.
Ice is so hard to come by camping.
Doo-doo-doo.
That's
Yeah.
like the gold
Can
of
be.
camping.
Yeah, it's true.
That's where they make
That's
huge
very
money at
true.
Shambhala. They sell the ice blocks,
Right,
and they're
yeah.
like $6 a
Oh, yeah.
block, and they probably go through each campsite or each tent has like 3 or 4 that they go through during the festival. So that's 10,000 people times times 3 blocks. So you're looking at 30,000 sold at $6 a unit. That's a lot of cash,
I'm gonna go
Lot of
and
money.
refill my drink
Mhm.
and grab the guest.
Okay, go
Yeah, the
grab your
guest
Where is he?
showing up.
go
So.
grab your guest.
All right.
Should we
Hobie and
pause?
I are going to discuss his e-cigarette.
Yeah, you hold it down.
All right.
You
So-
hold it down.
we're gonna holding it down. We're keeping it locked. Hobie, puff it right up to the thing so we can hear it. I want to hear the little hiss of the vaporizer
take-
working. Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it bubbling in there.
Here's a little bit of bubble.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
bubble.
It's kind of gurgling.
So basically, this product that you've purchased here is
An electronic
an
cigarette.
e-cigarette, and
Or an e-smoke or something like
so
that. There's different brands and stuff like that. I think e-smoke might actually be a brand name.
so are they legal in Canada yet? Like, what's the
Yeah, this was bought at a store.
okay?
I mean, well, I guess I don't know if the store is running illegally.
right.
The machine is definitely legal. I don't know if the tobacco juice is as legal.
Right now, what?
I
you
heard
fill
that-
up the cartridges.
I think they have to
once a
make it
day?
in Canada. I don't think they can import it or something like that.
Okay,
So it has to be made here in Canada.
just so it's not like
Which
some
apparently it
funky
is. So
tobacco.
it's fine. No, I think there's just something with customs
Oh,
and a problem with bringing in tobacco like that, products
right,
like
okay.
that.
It's like I guess
Some sort of custom issue.
they want the duty if it's coming in some right now. It's not
a
working.
thing with taxes and duty.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a standard unit costs about what, $100, $50?
No, $50 I'd say.
And then you get like a
$50, and then
Couple
I paid
cartridges.
$20 for some juice.
For the juice.
For the juice,
So-
and that has lasted me like, I don't know, I've used about half of that, and it's lasted me almost a week.
So tell us about the juice.
$10 a week.
So
say.
$10 a juice per week.
Yeah,
and
which
the
is better
juice-
than like $10 a day on
the
cigarettes.
juice is flavored juice.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is kind of, I think it's called Applewood.
So there are like
But there are
hundred varieties
hundreds of
of the
flavors,
juice.
hundreds of flavors. There's I think 4 or 5 different companies that make this juice.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, from cigarettes to
So now,
like
so
Sundays,
tell
you
me,
can
let
get
us
like an
do
ice
let
cream
us do a little
sundae
comparison. Now
between
you
what?
smoke between, we'll say, I'm going to French now. You smoke between, 20 to 30 cigarettes a week now, and you used to smoke 100, or what is the comparison with this new machine?
Yeah, something like that. That's probably pretty damn good.
So
20
from 100 down to like 10 or 20.
yeah,
That's
a
pretty
week,
phenomenal.
a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cut down.
That's huge savings,
cut
man.
down. Yeah, it's good on the pocketbook.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
think
just found
I
that
think I
like
bought one pack
it's
of cigarettes
hard
since I've got
to
this thing.
for me to like. It just doesn't quite satisfy my cravings.
It's not 100%. It's an alternative.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
It's-
reducer. It's a
I
reduction.
I
tool,
smoke about
right?
4 or 5 smokes a day. I'd say still.
And then on
Better than,
average,
it's
like
better than 10 of 20 smokes. a
how
day,
many
though.
hoots are you taking off that thing an hour?
I don't know.
Like average, like 10.
It's hard to say.
'Cause
I think every half hour or so I'll probably have like a hit.
So that's
Maybe every 15 minutes I'll
that
have a
that
hit.
little cartridge holds like how many
Milliliters?
Milliliters,
Two
yeah.
milliliters, I think it is.
So 2 milliliters will last you a day,
Two,
though.
yeah, about that. Yeah,
Okay, that's pretty good.
yeah.
though,
It's damn efficient.
I want some of our listeners out there to give us what they've their opinions of the new
The e-cigarette.
e-smokes. If you guys are fans
It's
of the
the
ceramic
wave
version,
of the future.
wave of the future, USB charged.
Yep,
and
that's
you're
right.
cutting out
USB charge.
carcinogens.
It's like
So
a fucking
you heard it here.
PS3 controller. You can plug it.
That's
You can
right.
plug this into your
You
PlayStation
can be playing
3
video games,
and
charge
smoking.
your e-smoke, smoke. You
It's
can do it all at
glorious.
once.
Takes about 4 hours to charge.
I think that's probably the biggest
Lasts about 2
upside
days,
to
3
those
days.
is that you can smoke it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah,
And
inside.
it's less offensive to people.
It is, and I think as it gets more, as people get more used to them,
Yeah.
you'll be able to smoke them inside more and more comfortably.
Yeah.
As it is, I think you kind of feel like a drug addict. People look at you like, "What the hell is that thing?"
Yeah. Well,
but
it does look
it's
kind of
starting.
strange still, right?
As soon as someone's seen it, then it's like normal.
Nice.
Like everyone's.
Hey, how's it
Welcome.
going? We got a guest coming in here right now, about to sit down in the Westcoast Highlife. So we're gonna
Pull
get
up a
him locked
chair.
up. Have a seat. My name is Darcy, man. Nice to meet you. Get on the mic and we'll say hello. So, all right. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice.
This
Okay.
is totally
And we can
pro.
hear you wicked.
This is pro.
Okay. So Klein, apparently, it's Dom, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Dom, I'm
Yeah.
Darcy. Welcome to the Westcoast Highlife.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah, man. Pleasure. So Alex has a song of yours. Actually, we're gonna introduce you with.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get that queued up. We're gonna roll this song and then we'll do our hellos.
Okay.
Alright.
So welcome.
Called Crash by Domino.
All right, let's hear this track.
Okay. We just gotta wait for Wi-Fi to kick in.
Oh yeah, live.
We had it. It sent a request.
Now you're failing, Klein. See,
You might
Klein,
have to relog
Alex
in there.
coined
You're gonna
himself
have
as
to
the E Shaman, so we're working on the E Shaman fail
press
right now. He's gonna do a little bit of a
space bar.
We
Control,
listened to
Alt,
it
Delete.
earlier.
Control Alt Delete and then go.
We listened to it earlier.
Function.
So that's okay.
apostrophe.
We can always add it in post.
Nah, we gotta hear it though. It's like it's the whole build up, right?
True.
Close
It
bracket.
kind of explains a little bit of Dom's situation, right? Is what he's been going
Yeah, fair enough.
through. Okay. I'll try and open it.
We're just
New
gonna
tab.
leave the airwaves
I'll just order a new tab.
passive.
Let's just have some
Yeah.
dead air.
Yeah.
If you need a special dialing one, just mash the keypad now.
It's SoundCloud that's fucked up right now.
It's not our internet.
No.
That's amazing.
Well, it's probably
You should
just
3G that shit, dude.
Yeah, man. Use your phone as a hub.
Yeah. Use your
Is that what's
Hub
going
your
on?
tether your internet, man.
Oh, does it kick you off the network here
It
if
can.
you don't use it?
can. Sometimes you have
That's
to have
probably what
pop-ups. Allowed pop-ups.
Yeah, you just got crushed by UVIC's
Spit
internet
Yeah.
Yeah.
syndrome.
All right, I'll keep this thing rolling.
Got timed out.
Oh, let's go.
bitch.
All right, that's fine. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to the track.
Yeah.
So,
We can do it post as well.
Yeah.
yeah, we can do that too. So, Dom, welcome. This is
Hey,
the
man.
West Coast Highlife, almost in
guys.
its entirety.
There's a
Pleasure to
couple
have
more
you on the
people.
show. We usually have
Yeah.
one more guest, but we
Yeah,
just got the
he's-
phantom
he's
chair for Fudge
MIA.
tonight because he's off doing his thing,
Fucking
selling fish
who
and
fucking
taking names.
cares?
So we're gonna let him do that for his
Fishmonger.
monging, and then
Just
carry
let
on.
him- Let him mong.
So first of all, how do you know Alex?
Back in the day, my brother used to actually date his sister, so we became.
Oh, I think I've met your
brothers
brother. Yeah, I played cards with him before. Played some
Yeah.
Texas Hold'em with him.
Probably.
He
Yeah.
was he
Wait,
was the
who's
number 2. I think I like him because I beat him.
Your brother,
I was number 1. He's
You
number
were
2.
one, huh?
don't, your brother dated Alex's sister.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought we
Okay.
were going to be brother-in-laws, and we were pretty stoked about that.
Oh, that didn't happen.
Didn't
You guys
marriage.
gotta.
No
You had
marriage.
to go play Cupid again and rekindle.
They fucked it up.
Damn.
They,
You,
yeah. It
didn't-
was young.
didn't-
It was young love, right? They fucked. And they
Yeah.
fucked it up pretty hard. so.
you needed to bring in a Barry White soundtrack. But hey, it happens, right?
Yeah. Nothing's fixing that.
So now
Ooh.
don't.
It's too bad. No, it's too bad though. It
well.
would have been a fun wedding.
It would have been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been the guy who showed up
You would've-
like
yeah.
2 hours into the reception and been like, "Where's the bar?" And he'd been like, get him out of here.
Nah,
we
man.
don't. We can't afford that tab.
Probably would have been the MC too.
Well, yeah, everyone would have been there. But hey, man. So in hypotheticals, how's your summer been going?
Summer's been absolutely killer.
Yeah, wicked. Any events you've been out to? Any things you've been checking out?
Moved into Chinatown with my girlfriend, so
Excellent,
that was
nice.
a huge move. It's a really zen place. It's a good vibe.
Wicked. Are you in like one of those little places where you got to take the small staircase to get everything up, or is it actually like half decent?
No, it's like a massive staircase. It's 4 stories. There's a corner at the top, but like once you get to the top, it's a massive open floor plan. Like a
Any
nice
elevators?
No elevators.
Oh, so who are the people who got roped into helping you move? Is my question.
Tyler Greer.
Yep, there you go. Fair enough, eh? So you gotta say big ups and thanks to those guys,
shout
obviously,
out to
right?
Tyler
Yeah.
for
This is your
sure.
chance.
Because I know I got a buddy of mine who's moving on August 1st, and he's been trying to rope us in for a while now.
He has practically
Enticements.
nothing though to move.
Yeah,
so
I'm
we're
like, what do you
yeah.
got, man? What do you got?
I've got practically nothing except for a bed and a dresser and a desk and
Yeah, I
coffee
guess
table.
every-
and a couch
everybody
and a-
says
It always
that.
starts that way.
And,
It's like, yeah, I got next to nothing. It's gonna be easy, and then
It's
you 6
nothing.
hours later, and you've lost like half of your arm,
Nothing.
and you're like, okay, only 2 more things. Yeah, but hey, that's all gravy. Good to see you got a new spot. And
Doesn't matter.
so you're living downtown. Did you come check out any of the festivals in the harbor over the last couple of months? Did you?
Yeah, I've definitely been checking out Vic Fest and Jazz Fest.
Nice.
Is right by my house. So
Nice, right
I was
on.
down there, like checking out the Pig Wagon.
Very cool.
They got some good food.
Is
Pig Wagon.
has Market Square been doing anything? Do you know?
I saw a
Um,
poster for
Not
Shaggy
sure.
coming up.
Oh, see, that's funny because
Is that you
that
guys?
was our play. We were gonna
Oh.
do Shaggy, but actually Shaggy is not happening now.
Oh no.
No, everybody
Damn.
out there in
That's
eWorld,
so
no
sad.
Shaggy play. It's
That's
not
so
happening.
sad.
I was gonna
Shag-
go to that.
No more Mr. Boombastic, man.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't him.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't him.
Forget about it.
That's what his agent said. It wasn't me, man. I didn't sign that contract.
Oh, man.
So yeah, Shaggy.
Good.
Apparently, he had this thing with Radio City in New York, and they basically were like, yeah,
Well,
you
that's
have
a
to.
much better opportunity than
Yeah, but this is like post signing a contract, so he had to like basically get out
Break
of a
the-
bunch of touring from the West Coast to say
Right.
that he could do this New York
But
City
he's
play.
Shaggy, he can do what he
They
fucking
they
wants.
basically told him that like if he didn't come and play, they were gonna pull his record deal or something ridiculous.
What?
So he's like, all right, man, it wasn't me.
It
I'm on my
wasn't
way,
me.
and
It wasn't me.
and away we go. So yeah, Klein, I'm wondering, did you get that
I
track?
did.
All right,
did.
well let's crack that
Let's
out.
let that roll.
All right, let's hit this
We'll
track.
get into it
Wait,
with-
well, you want to intro the track? Tell us what it is and what's it called, and
Yeah, it's basically just it's a song that my friend made, and he didn't know who was going to be able to lay it down. He's a local producer,
Yeah.
Biniam Shabu, and he couldn't find an MC who would lay it down.
Nice.
And he happened to call it Crash because there were cymbals at the very end. And
Excellent.
out of nowhere, I got in a car crash 2 or 3 days later, and when I got out, he said he got a track for me in a couple.
So
in
he
about
had
2
recorded the song, like the bass lines and everything before the accident happened?
Yeah, he made the song himself. It was almost like he was having a premonition.
Holy shit. But you hadn't done any of the emceeing on it yet, had you?
No, I hadn't even written a song. I hadn't
Okay.
even thought about it. I was just writing poems. I didn't do much rapping.
Whoa, man, that's some serious fucking irony right
It's
there.
weird,
That's
yeah.
Holy shit.
And
Okay. So
and-
wait, I want to
Alright.
hear this track and then,
Yeah.
then we're going to
So
talk.
Okay.
there's also on YouTube we checked up a track, and it's just me sitting at my pop's house, cameras on me, and it's just like I'm laying it down to, I think it was Moby. In my dreams,
Oh, nice.
In my dreams, I'm down all the time.
Fucking awesome.
And it was a premonition.
So that people can check that out on YouTube?
2 weeks later was the crash.
Holy, so it was a premonition almost, eh? Shit.
All right, well, let's
All
have
right.
it then.
All right, we're going to drop this track. here.
Crash, Domino, Snoozy 87.
Part of creation. and that we're all part of each other, and we all live forever, and we're all on an endless journey of evolution. Some people are ahead of some others at some point, and at some point in the future, the roles will be reversed. We're just on an endless journey of evolution through experience.
Broken legs, I can't even walk. I'm caught in an alley, ready to be another body in shock. A shot in the dark is my only hope. I need to get up and escape. Forget the past to coordinate if I want a future. Gotta keep an open mind like a parachuter. Gotta keep an open mind like a parachuter. Felt like a ghost for most of my life. Learned to hunt and gut fish with only a buck knife. From an early age, I had pent up rage with a need to fulfill anything threatening family would be killed. Until I saw bodies in a landfill and felt the hurt that came with it. I'm sorry I lost my head, it's easy to forget. Cause when you're out of your mind, there's someone else in it. 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 Controlled by fear, burn clear till I almost disappeared. Turned a beer wobbly and weird. Now it's respect, all fear none. To overcome the negative that's already been done. Look to the brighter days, better ways to forget about the past. Cause you know, it simply don't last. I look to the brighter days, better ways to forget about the past. Cause you know, it simply don't last. It simply don't last. Don't last. Time moves fast, so be like the turtle, anticipating next step and make it through the hurdles. Rather than my jump start, but speed of the tortoise. You know wherever you go slow, the life report is less stress, less worries, and no matter whatever the negatives, they leave in a hurry. Less stress, less worries, and no matter the negatives, they leave in a hurry, 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 hurry. How you like me now? How you like me now?
I like this beat. It's very mellow.
Super smooth.
Yeah, it's very ambient. I like it.
Was this your first track that you ever made?
First ever track.
Fucking crazy, man.
We laid it down in 2 takes.
Well, you must have been,
Second-
you know, had
second go, he
some
kept it.
serious, like, I don't want to call it inspiration, but, like, you were able to really connect with what you were saying there. You know, you obviously had firsthand experience, crash, you know, bringing it all back. Now, how long after your accident, did you record that? Was it, like, 6 months?
It
Like,
was a long time before. It's only actually been 7.5 months now.
is that right, eh?
It's pretty remarkable that I walked in here today.
Wow.
I shouldn't be alive, let alone walking and talking.
So would you be willing to tell us a little bit about what happened?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, we'd love to hear it. So, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, you have the floor.
Yeah, so the night of the crash, I had been out. We were celebrating my friend's birthday. And then basically I got in a row with this guy. A brother of mine died, Gareth. He wasn't a blood brother, but I considered him family.
Yeah.
And this guy knew him, and I knew this guy since we were in grade 7. And he literally, he said, "Hey man, I don't give a shit about your brother. I don't fucking care. I don't understand why you fucking mope and why you give a shit about him at all. Like, it's not a problem. People die. Like, get over it." And I was thinking, like, not only had I taken it like a champ, but I didn't stand up and fight him. I just kept my cool.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, you know, what's the point of shedding blood over this? And then he kept going, and he pushed me. This was before the crash, so you got to remember I was quite the specimen back then.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to take shit from nobody. So I just floored him. I just picked him up with one arm and floored him. And I put my knee on his chest, and I just said, none of that.
Yeah.
And then I walked out. And later on, I thought, like, you know, my buddy for sure would have, like, kicked him out of the house, you know, because I left to be respectful so we didn't fight in the house.
Yeah.
And I came back, and, like, he came out, and he brought an axe out with him, and he tried to swing it at me, and I just ran off.
Holy shit.
I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, you're insulting me and my dead brother, and, like, you're trying to kill me. It's just, like, what are you on, man? Like,
So this really old friend of yours, he passed away, and then this was before the accident, and this guy was like basically insulting him as a deceased guy, and then as your friend.
as much as possible.
Yeah.
Did he even? How well did this guy know that guy?
And they were buddies, too, so it was
Really?
just, like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Maybe that was just his fucked up way of dealing with it.
No, it wasn't his way of dealing with it, because he's not dealt with it to this day. Like,
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
so.
So he comes at you with an axe.
Yeah, so I ran off, and I got behind the wheel, and I had so much rage because I just kept plotting to myself. I was just like, this guy's got to go. It's either me or him. I had so much pain in my heart. I was like, that's it. Like, it was ultimatums.
Yeah.
And one of us was about to go. So I just started driving aggressively and, like, drifting in a car that I had pretty much already burned the tires up during perfect weather. And now it's raining after perfect weather.
Slippery.
So, yeah, I came around the bend, just a hillside and Cedar Hill Crossroad there.
Yeah.
It's just like a blind turn. And there was a car just coming right at me. So I swerved out and I lost control and sort of the tires pinched. And then as I came, I was launched back across the road and I just drifted. The car did approximately 270-degree spin out back across the road, back into my lane. And then the driver's side door hit the pole, and I was dead stop at 80 kilometers an hour. My head went through the windshield with no airbags because Toyota Yaris doesn't find them necessary.
It was the Yaris?
Shit.
Yeah, there was a recall from 2005s to 2008s, but for some reason they didn't call our 2006.
Wow. That's a fairly modern car to not have that technology.
So there was one knee airbag and 8 airbags,
Oh.
SRS standard, that didn't deploy.
Oh, wow.
So did you, were you
shit.
able to get any compensation from Toyota after that? Did you
So,
file a lawsuit or anything?
I'm talking with a few lawyers at the moment about something to do with that and
Okay.
a few other angles we may approach, but at the moment I'm unable to get chiro, massage. ICBC only covers 75% of physio.
Yeah.
So I'm out of hand and pocket, and
Fuck, man.
it's getting hard up, man. No job, unable to work as a guy that was missing 3 limbs.
Holy. So what was the date this happened?
November 16th, 2012.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I
just-
remember my mom had cut out the article in the paper, and she was like, just like in shock, and we were all in shock when we saw that photo. And the first thing was, well, is he alive? Like, it didn't, from the picture, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like anybody walked out of there. But it was like a miracle when you heard you were recovering and in the hospital. And I think my sister talked to your mom, and
So what were
your brother was away, right? Yeah.
What were the extent of your injuries then?
Well, I
How
had
long were you in hospital?
Yeah.
a remarkable small amount of time.
Yeah.
I think it was a grand total of 9 weeks, and they expected me to be there for an extra 2.5
Yeah.
months.
Wow.
And I basically came out of it completely dazed and confused, threw my arm up the moment of the crash, and had 2 compound fractures, the radius and the ulna
Yeah.
in my left arm.
Yeah.
And it was pushed down by the force of the impact because the pole came right into the window that I was hitting. And I didn't lose my eyes, but you can see 29 stitches straight through.
Wow.
Had them cut up, and I've just had some glass removed recently from the face
Wow.
part there, right in between the eyes. And in doing that, I managed to save my vision. It was gone for about 3 weeks, but I was in intensive care unit for 5 days, and the first day out of it, I threw my pain meds on the floor.
Is that right?
3 times in a row, I told the doctors I refused to take these heavy narcotics, They had me on Dilaudid, hydromorphine, like slow release jabs, like it's just ridiculous. Oxycontin.
So you can't feel anything.
They said I'd never be able to deal with it. So first day out of intensive care unit, 3 times in a row I rejected it, and the 4th time I threw it on the floor and said, "Been on a hospital floor, I can't have it now."
Yeah.
So the doctor stormed out, said, "Let him deal with it.
Yeah.
Once he feels that pain, he'll regret it. He'll realize what's up."
Yeah.
He was yelling at the nurses, and they were like, "Okay."
Shit.
So I got no attention for about 3-4 days. By the 2.5-week mark, on a shattered pelvis, with a 4-centimeter blood clot here, with massive impact,
Just below
damage
your
to the
knee?
knee. Yeah. The entire leg was completely black. From the pelvis to the foot was completely black on both sides. And on this side, you can see the scar.
Yeah.
I had 2 compound fractures, the tibia and the fibia, snapped through, severing the nerves, and ripped through the flesh. And in an hour and 18 minutes that it took them to extradite me, I only lost a pint of blood because I meditated.
Wow.
You slowed your heart
It
rate
took you
down.
an hour and 15 minutes to get you out of the car.
Hour and 18 minutes is the
Oh,
longest
shit.
in 38 years in BC
yeah, that's
history.
epic.
So did they with the Jaws of Life, and how did they get you out?
Jaws of Life took forever, but
Yeah.
I had to listen to that the entire time.
So it's just like a droning mechanical.
It's basically you go deaf and you can't hear anymore. That's how it goes, especially when your head's going through a windshield and your eyes are cut and you broke your eye socket and sinus and jaw.
Could you still, like, were you able to breathe at all?
I had like, I don't know how many, I don't want to say a number, but anywhere from 15 to 25 fragmented pieces of skull.
Yeah.
Concave.
Pieces.
My head was just scalped from the top here
Yeah.
down to the eyes.
Yeah.
And it was just crushed in. The brain was bleeding. And
yet you were somehow able
But
to
you were
meditate.
conscious the whole time?
Did you?
I stayed conscious. I was out of body for a lot of it.
Yeah,
for
I was
about
going to ask
20
about
minutes.
that. So the accident's happening. Do you go into some kind of like a Matrix bullet time? Like, does it slow down?
In the moment of the accident, it didn't slow down. It was like a maybe 3-second slowdown phase, which was just before impact. But after that, it was all full speed. Everything that happened, and then out of body was literally like a physical body. I was walking beside the car, and I could see this guy that was in excruciating agony and clearly had brutal wounds. And I could see he was going through all this pain, but I couldn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Did you know that it was you that you were looking at?
I didn't recognize the guy at all. He looked completely deformed.
Yeah.
And I could actually see him. And I described the first 2 responders, a cop and a paramed. I described them to my mother. One of them goes to her church. He's a cop.
Yeah.
I described him to a T. Curly hair, short, dark skin, and a blonde white woman.
Wow. There's no explanation for that yet. For like scientifically, like how are, because you hear about out of body experiences like exactly like yours happening a lot, and there's no way to explain that. Like, where are your eyes? Like, how are you floating in physical space and recording all of that into memory?
It's your third eye. It's the pineal gland.
It's amazing.
It's an actual eyeball. It's a receptacle for light. It's a part of your brain.
Yeah.
Some call it the pineal gland.
Pineal gland, yeah.
I call it the pineal gland, and it's a receptacle for light. It's actually the same as your eyes. Your 2 eyeballs can store light.
Yeah.
And it's not actually the eyes that see, it's the mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Your mind is what's doing all the interpreting of what those are sending to them, right? Basically,
But
those are
you
just
would
like
think,
glasses.
though, that your mind and brain would be completely offline, right? Physically, at the moment of that crash. It's something outside of your body, sort of. You were outside of your body. So do you think...
Well, here's
But
the
you're still making
catch-22.
memories.
Here's the catch-22 is the
Right.
pineal gland is what releases dimethyltryptamine every night while you sleep. And DMT is the highest substance for, basically, it's a hallucinogen that'll take you to a different place.
Yeah.
And when you wake up, it's wearing off. That's why you're kind of groggy in the morning, and it's like you're a bit of a comatose screw up, and you stub your toe or whatever, because you're just coming out of a DMT overload. Because it gives you the answers in your sleep. It lets you see with your third eye, and you shut off your perspective and your interpretation of it. It opens all possibilities. Logic is thrown out.
Yeah.
Because we're taught logic. It's not something we teach ourselves.
It's not an inherent thing, right? Something. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you're outside of yourself and you're just completely accepting of whatever you're experiencing because
Well, the
you
thing
don't have
is,
a filter.
when you're dead, that's basically what that is, out of body. When you're just in spirit form and it's not physical or mind, you don't have any pain, and you do have all the answers. So you don't have questions, and I wasn't wondering. I just was observing. It's like the observer effect.
Just there.
And all of a sudden, I was identifying these people, and I could actually see them, which is ironic because my head was in the window.
Yeah.
I had a crown of glass. I couldn't have turned my head. The whiplash was excruciating, and the trunk was actually bent up to the glove box on the opposite side.
Yeah, we saw
Now,
the
now, when
picture.
they
It's
first
pretty-
arrived on scene, were you able to communicate at all to them, for them to know that A, you were alive, and that B, you were at all cognizant of what was going on, or like how did the first responders react to you being there? Or, obviously, you probably didn't know, right? But you say you can fully describe what they looked like, how they were responding to you.
But I couldn't have physically seen them.
Yeah.
It was
so,
impossible.
So, were you before the accident? Were you a spiritual person, or were you someone who was very sort of in touch with your own self in that sense? Because it seems like for you to be able to go into meditation at a point in time where it's like the absolute stress and extremes on your body, clinging to life, to be able to even do that is miraculous. And I'm wondering, are you more of a spiritual person now because of that experience itself, or has it sort of changed who you feel you are, or how you view yourself, or your own connection to your own spirituality, things like that? Has that really been a big changing marker for you, or?
Every aspect of me has changed.
Yeah.
So I'm now a reformed person. I used to be a brutal physical man.
Yeah.
That's what I was a specimen that you could toss against the wall, beat senselessly, and I wouldn't stop laughing. I couldn't get enough of it. Now, if you hit me once, I would be dead. That's all it would take. So perspective has to change.
Yeah, for sure.
In one's view of life. So I now appreciate life on a whole different level. I now view things in a different way. I now don't always pull the sword out.
Yeah.
I have the pen handy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And on top of that, I had a few out-of-body experiences before. I actually should have died 7 other times. This was my 8th should-have-died experience. I want to say near death, but people associate that with a bus whizzing by your face.
Yeah.
I'm talking getting hit by the bus.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And, when I was 13, I lost 4 liters of blood. I had my spleen removed. I had my ribs cracked. And I was told you only have about 5 liters of blood, and I was told you only have about 10 minutes to live. And I watched them cut me open on the TV.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit up because my abs were cut.
Yeah. Holy, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you having that scar way back, and you made up some awesome story about how you got that.
The shark bite.
The shark bite, yeah.
There's something about
Shark
a shark
attack.
attack,
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Do you some of your scars and stuff, is it hard for you to tell people about that, or is it do you make up just like you did for that? Do you say, oh, I got attacked by a shark, or you come up with all these other things for how these happen, right? Is it hard for you to tell people about it? I know we've got you on here tonight, and this is probably not the easiest thing to share, right? So, I'm curious, has it been challenging for you to have to explain to people what goes on?
The hardest thing to deal with is masses of people.
Yeah.
3 people is really chill.
Yeah.
4 people is pushing it.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, I'm stressing out.
Right. Okay.
8, 9,
Just
I'm
like anxiety,
leaving.
you mean? Just like
It's basically once you've had that amount of trauma. I had 2 third-degree concussions 2 months before the crash. And my brother died 4 months before that. So basically it was like death, impact, which was 285 on a bench press with no spotter, locked one side, the other side launched down as I was sitting up, and it bent down to my ears, a solid iron bar. And now my friend uses it for easy curls and laughs about it. He's like, I can't believe you walked away from that alive.
Your head bent it into a handle?
Bent it. The weight from 285 coming down on me bent it. And I guess that was enough to bend the solid metal. And then a month and a half later, I was doing a handstand to cheer up this lassie downtown who was crying, and I didn't know her, and I had no reason to be talking to her, but I just thought I'd cheer her up. So I was doing a handstand, making a fool of myself, and her angry boyfriend comes running out and just boots my arm. So back of my head went into the concrete from full extension that distance.
Shit.
And my friends heard it from a block and a half back.
Oh my God.
I then proceeded to drink for the rest of the night heavily. Nobody thought that I had ever been drunk before, so they saw me wobbling back and forth, unable to walk or balance. And they went, "Oh my God, Dom's drunk, let's feed him. And so everyone kept giving me liquor.
Damn, dude. So all these experiences you've had and all these out-of-body experiences and sort of walking between the two worlds, what kind of intuition or like wisdom or like what told you to get back into your body and meditate, or like where did that come from?
I'm glad you asked that question. That's a full circle. You just brought everything together right there, because you were asking about the first responders and whether or not I could tell them what was going on with me and whether they knew I was alive.
Yeah.
After the accident, I had a broken arm. And because I was so incoherent, I proceeded to break through the window with my elbow. And I broke my elbow.
Trying to break
and
it.
Put my arm out the window and tried to wave for help. A girl who lived across the street came running. Amanda Marie Kelly. She held my hand. She said it was like an elastic band. And she asked me who I was. And I didn't respond. She asked me again. I said, "Who am I talking with?" She said, "I'm Amanda. I'm friendly. I'm here to help you. I'm here to take care of you. You're going to be all right." I said, "The name's Smith, Dominic Smith." Eventually, when first responders got there, she was able to tell them, my name and who I was and things like that, and that I only lived 2.5 blocks up the road. And the first responders had no idea that I was going to make it, in spite of the fact that they knew I was alive currently.
Yeah.
It was such a long extradition, and they weren't able to get to me, that they had concluded what the fire chief told me. Let's just tell it from his perspective.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, "We thought that you may be a write-off because you weren't responding to pain. We thought no one could deal with that amount of pain.
Yeah.
But then when we finally got to you and we got under your arms, went to pull you out of the car, these 2 bones that were snapped through on my left leg caught on the gear stick. And I let out an excruciating, "Ah!"
A response.
Yeah.
And they all started cheering and high-fiving.
Right.
Because at that moment, they knew if he's responding to pain, he's going to make it.
Nice.
Interesting.
Wow.
Holy, what a.
It's quite a story, man.
Whew. So did you have some of the out-of-body stuff happen in the hospital at all?
I experienced a lot of weird delirium on the heavy
Right.
narcotics.
Yeah.
And from lack of sleep, they threw me in with 7 other people who I've never met, with completely unrelated things going on. And you have no connection to them in the walk of life, let alone your current walk of life.
Yeah.
And you basically hear them pissing and shitting themselves while you're trying to sleep.
Yeah.
And then other
not the
people are
best.
crying and yelling at the nurses, like the nurses are
Emergency and intensive care and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a great
a messy
environment
place,
for
no.
healing then, eh?
even just in 5A.
But they probably moved
No.
you. They probably moved you.
I was in a
soon, eh?
ward. I wasn't
Were you?
in emergency
You
or
weren't?
intensive care unit.
No?
It was just a ward where they threw you in with a whole bunch of inmates, if you want to call it that.
Your
Because I
cellmates.
became institutionalized right quick.
Yeah.
And soon I couldn't be around people. I felt social aggression. I want to call it social awkwardness, but it's more like
Yeah.
I'd feel like retaliating at people that I didn't like when there was no problem with them.
Yeah.
There's, you just don't like
yeah,
them.
You just
Well, I mean,
strange.
after facing that much trauma too, it just any external influences, just they get amplified. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
And,
I'm sure that's why you find it hard to be around a ton of people too. Is you're probably more sensitive to the things that are invisible to us now, because you're not as focused on the physical anymore. So you probably pick up on, so-called vibes that people put out.
It's funny you say that. Moving into Chinatown, there's a lot of stories about Fantan Alley and hauntings. There's a lot of ghosts. And, people have died there, and there's been murders and things like this.
Yeah.
They say that the spirits can't be released; they linger.
Yeah.
Well, living there, I've had some very interesting experiences myself. And the closer you come to death, the more perceptive you become of life and life around you in other forms and spirits, which is what humans refer to as dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Spirits are actually another form of life, and life goes on after death, not just for the living, but for everyone. You're actually released from your body. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Coming back is not.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, then, have you noticed any spiritual beings, or I guess you want to call them not ghosts per se, but entities? Are you able to make a connection with those things that are now, you're saying you're moving to Chinatown, an area where there is a lot of that past. Does your incident and all of your experience from that allow you to be more perceptive to those things? Is that what you're kind of trying to say there?
I'm very much more perceptive,
Yeah.
but I can't connect with it. I don't have the ability to unlock it. I don't know anybody who does. Most of the people who claim to are just hooligans and absolutely loopy.
Yeah. Con artists.
Yeah, or they just want you to buy into something so you can rid yourself of a true haunting that's actually happening, right?
That's very interesting to hear, though.
It's funny because when I was sitting on the couch with my girlfriend, I had my arm around her and we're just enjoying a movie, spending some time together, romantic evening, just the two of us.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's always good stuff, isn't it? All of a sudden, I just felt chills going up my spine. And she asked me, what's wrong? She thought something was going on. There's been so many things medically, right?
Yeah,
That
could be anything.
It could be anything, right? And it was literally, there was an energy pulling through me. It was like a gravitational pull from behind that passed through me and then kept going, and then I was pulled forward. And I couldn't explain it. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't connect with it. I couldn't talk with it. I just felt freezing cold, and then all of a sudden I felt the life rush back to me, and I felt like I have to live right now. I need to go out. And we took the dog out, went for a walk.
Yeah.
I didn't say hey, crazy shit's going on right now, I'm tripping balls.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I just felt the spirit go through me.
So we basically just got out of there. We have talked about it since, but
Yeah.
at the time it's too weird to talk about it.
Yeah. So I'm curious now in terms of the healing process for yourself, and what now do you feel, or what do you do now to try and sort of, I guess you will always remember the experience, and you always remember that coming that close to death. And I'm curious now, where do you go from here? Do you have other aspirations for what you want to do now with your future? And where do you see yourself moving after this, profound and, a miracle that you're still here and that we have you here to talk to you right now? So I'm just, are you able to embrace that and say, I'm a survivor, and, I'm here on this earth to do something.
Yeah. Do you feel responsibility?
Yeah. That's
With great power comes great
you
responsibility.
In essence, I mean, it is a miracle, I would say, that you're alive, and, it's probably a testament to the strength of your character and your spirituality and a lot of things, I'm sure. But I'm really curious to know, and now what,
I just want to throw something in here as just a little whirlpool. It's ironic to say, think about how happy I am to be alive, because the moment of the crash, if you rewind 12 seconds, all I wanted to do was kill or be killed.
Mm-hmm.
You're enraged.
And as I go a bit faster, the last 5-6 seconds, all I want to do is die. And then the moment of impact, fighter takes over and warrior blood starts pumping through the veins. There's nothing I could do but survive.
You weren't allowed to. Your body wouldn't let you do it. Your mind, your soul wouldn't let you do it, right?
My body wanted to die. My spirit came back.
Yeah.
My body tried to die. I think the fact that Amanda came and connected with my hand physically is what sucked me into that vortex. It felt like a black hole. I remember seeing, it's just like you guys sitting here right now. How you feel is different. It's unique to each of you as individuals. But there is a unicity in the fact that all of you are perceiving yourself as alive and here in this moment.
Yeah. I think so. Hovey?
Are we alive? We're alive, right?
What are you
We're
asking
here
me?
in this moment.
Yeah. He's
As far
enthralled.
as I know.
He's really.
As far as I know.
No, I would agree with you.
And as I was walking in my spirit, I was alive there in that moment. And that's how I felt, exactly how the three of you feel, even though it's unique to you. I felt like I was there and that was real. And then to suddenly get sucked in to the car, I thought I was going to physically hit layers of metal and fly into this crash from the outside. I was experiencing that in my mind because whatever happened, whether it was high levels of DMT from being near to death or whether it was just the spirit actually has a memory bank, it connected with the body again, and that was the most terrifying experience I've had in my life. It was about 40 minutes after the crash.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's scary. It's a scary thing for me to even think about that feeling, that gap between mind and body, or spirit and body, is like, it's the unknown, right? It's the great void. We don't know how to really, well, we know how we can get there, but either way, you don't know how long you're going to be there for, or, I mean, what do they call it? It's like purgatory in a way, right? Because you can't stay there. If your body actually totally did die, we don't know where your spirit would end up, right? There's no, like, we just don't have answers. Nobody's ever been able to fully do that and come back and tell us. But you're the closest thing that we have to walking those both worlds. So
It's funny because my uncles always joke about what a pussy I am. And in spite of 2.5 weeks after the accident, on no pain meds, walking it off with no arm, I had to go on a gutter walker because I couldn't use crutches. Physically impossible. They told me it was impossible, but I had a blood clot and I had to deal with it. So I knew I had to start pumping it.
Making the impossible possible, right?
It's just I'm possible if you break the word up.
Dude, I mean,
yeah,
you are the image of a fighter right now, not just in spirit, in mind, in everything that you've had to overcome to be here right now, sitting down in front of us, telling us your story. So I want to say thanks.
Yeah.
Really thank you, for being here. We've never really done this in the Westcoast Highlife. We haven't had someone come in and give us that metaphysical interpretation of what's happened to you, and just like to even get that sense of out of body and how our spirit is so entwined with our own self, and how we have to drive where we're going. And I think that one thing that I really took from note is when you said that girl came and grabbed your hand. And I feel like that was almost what, if you're about to leave this world, that was the touch, that one candid
kept you here.
Moment between two people where, yeah, exactly.
It's
it was
it's like
don't leave.
Serendipity, right? Like, she happened to be looking out her window. She happened to kind of know what to do and to not be afraid to come over there and do that for you. It was really, really a great act of kindness.
So do you still talk with that girl?
Yeah.
It was an interesting experience. Actually, that's a story in itself. She
What was
was
her name again? Amanda
Marie Kelly.
Amanda Marie Kelly.
She was a cleaner at Vic General. And in spite of the accident, we only lived, if you do the math, about 4 blocks away from each other.
Practically neighbors.
Right?
Yeah.
And she had no idea I lived so close. She didn't have a clue who I was. And then she was torn away by police and first responders saying, you can't be here. And saying I'm staying till the last minute. She waited until the very last minute, stayed on the road at 3, 4 in the morning, And then finally I was in the hospital and I went by her and she'd only been wondering about this. Like, I can only imagine for a young woman what kind of an experience that is. For a man, experiencing it physically is one thing, even spiritually is another. But her mentally dealing with that and emotionally is on a whole different level that I've never experienced. And all of a sudden she saw me at the hospital I was getting wheeled past her in a stretcher, and she couldn't believe that I was telling jokes with my porter. And then all of a sudden I said, "Stop!" He said, "Excuse me?" He thought something was wrong with me. He started getting worried. He ran around the side. I looked over to the side and saw this old man that I was friends with, very good friends with. I said, "How's your day going?" He said, "Oh, it's all right." I said, "Well, it better be damn well all right. We're in the hospital, don't you know?" And he looked at me and he went, "Oh, I'd have to be daft to not realize that."
Oh, shit.
He started roaring with laughter, so I said, "All right, we're good to go."
So you actually saw that woman at the hospital at the GVH when you were, recuperating?
So I didn't see her.
Oh.
I stopped to talk to the old man, and she was standing right beside him. And because of protocol, she's diligent with her work. She takes it seriously.
Yeah.
In spite of everything that she experienced that night, she didn't open her mouth.
And say that was
She didn't say, "How are you doing? Oh my God, like, do you
Yeah.
remember me?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?"
like how anybody else would react naturally.
Yeah.
Wow, what a soldier.
She kept quiet and she soldiered on. She really is a trooper. And then weeks went by and she asked people like where my room was and like how I was doing. And like she went and like looked in and like saw me and she couldn't believe it. She saw me walking down the hall taking 9 steps. My first 9 steps on a shattered pelvis with a titanium rod from my knee to ankle.
Shit.
And on the gutter walker is another 2 titanium rods, a plate, and 13 bolts. And that's what I'm resting my weight on.
Have you been through airport security in the last little while? That must be a bit of a pain.
Not allowed to travel with blood clots.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, we just had a friend who had a knee surgery, and he traveled for overseas from China to get here to get it operated on, and he had a blood clot because of that.
Wasn't
the
supposed
flight.
to fly with that. Yeah.
Yeah, so on a very small level, we know what's up with blood clots. 'Cause he had to take the Dilaudid, what is it? Or no,
Oh, I don't know. He's
what's
thinning his blood
the
for
thinner.
the
Warfarin.
Warfarin.
Warfarin,
Yeah,
yeah.
fuck. That's terrible shit.
Yeah.
Rat poison.
Rat poison.
Yeah,
he was on the rat
essentially.
poison
I
for
was on it
months.
for 5.5 months.
It was a glorious day though when he could get off of that stuff. So we look forward for your day, which must be coming soon.
I actually just got off the rat poison.
Oh, nice.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I was able to get my glass out because it's a blood thinner.
Right.
You'll endlessly bleed. So if your face is
Yeah.
riddled with glass, go to hell.
Yeah.
And
to do the surgery, you had to be off of it, you mean?
yeah, because
Otherwise
otherwise
you
they
bleed out.
can't get you to
Right.
clot.
Shit.
And that's the whole objective
Yeah.
of
Right.
patching up.
Yeah.
And so finally you can see the stitches, just a couple pieces there. Now I just have some on the side, the back of the dome, and that'll come out when I get this cartilage fixed in my nose and have my nose realigned.
You are the
You're a
$6
modern-
million man.
Modern miracle of science and technology and self. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you are the synergetic man. You've got everything working for you, I think, right now. So
I'm just really, really stoked to have you here and to share your story. So thank you, man.
yeah,
Appreciate it, Dom.
it's amazing. I think this is like a landmark episode for
Yeah.
us.
It's an honor to be here, fellas.
Fuck Ben.
Yes,
I'm
good
so
fudge.
So
Ben's
glad
not
everyone had
invited
headphones
anymore.
here.
That's right. We didn't have enough phones for him anyways.
Forget about Ben.
Ben.
Just forget about it.
fugazi.
No, but you know what? You're welcome to come back. I think I speak for all the guys when I say
cheers.
that, and we'd love to hear updates on your situation and more insights you have on life and just on the whole spectrum of your recovery.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much, fellas.
Awesome. Yeah. Cheers.
Been an absolute blast.
Yeah. You heard it here, guys. This was we had Dom on here giving us his stories and some miracles that happened to get him to here to this
Dom
stage
Smith,
to talk to us.
The
today.
miracle
So,
man.
Yep. So we'll put up some links and you can check out his video on YouTube. And we're gonna be waiting to hear some more hip hop from this guy in the future. So once again, thank you, and thank you for listening to the Westcoast Highlife. This is episode 24. The summer is right here, and we got Shambhala coming up in about a week's time. We got Labor Day long weekend up on Hornby. Westcoast Highlife goes Hornby. And many more things to come. So check out our website and stay tuned. So cheers. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Life, simple signs, recognize and synchronize it. Ain't coincidence. you're a savior. Sometimes I feel you're a hater. One step at a time, you get yours. Stand in line, get served like a waiter. Narrators, debaters, peacemakers, emancipators. Rise, flies, highs over hip-hop. Through surgeon eyes, no one despised. I hear your cries. One birth, one dies. Through thick and thin, we maintain and will continue to rise. For the love of hip-hop.